Welcome back, my friends, to Rad Warrior TV and another episode of Gear Talk. And today we're talking about a beloved synth, the Behringer Model D. Now this thing, it stays proprietary in my bass stack. For those of you who subscribe and follow the channel, everything's different. I had a whole flagship station going on right here, but I had to consolidate to make this thing portable for upcoming summer gigs. But no matter what stage I'm on, the Behringer Model D cuts through the mix like a broadsword. It's completely barbaric in its bass tone and its leads. So I want to do an overview of how great it is and just dive in directly to the Model D. So I'm going to swap the camera over to a bird's eye view, and we're going to get into it. The Behringer Model D.
And welcome to the panel of the Behringer Model D. Going over all of its different parameters, start off on the left to right, and here we have the controllers where you control your tune, main tune knob. It's got a glide option, mod mix as well, and your mod depths, and the LFO rate to control how fast your is going to go. So, very fun. Very useful if you're trying to get weird. Anyways, next, my favorite aspect of this thing is that it contains 3 oscillators. I love the Pro one, got a good tone, but the 3 oscillator beauty of this is just pretty unmatchable for $300. So, you also have your various waveforms: triangle, varied sawtooth, traditional sawtooth, wide square, mid square, and a thin square. So, you've got your 6 different waveforms that you can dial through, and I'll go over those later in the video. Also, the next one, we have our mixer. So we've got quick switches for on and off, which is handy if you're trying to slice out a layer of the oscillators, all depending on what you want. You don't have to max it out like me, like I do all the time. Actually, look at that, I'm keeping the top oscillator dialed down. Anyhow, yes, my favorite part of this, not the noise, but the noise is cool. It's got white noise, pink noise. I keep it kind of down, but I do have it turned up to a phase of 1. And then the overload. Basically, this is overdrive. So I keep that at a 1, keep it nice and fuzzy. Here's 0. And where it's at with the square and sawtooth, it's pretty buzzed out already. But with some overdrive, it's got its own tone, so I like to utilize that, and it saves me on an overdrive or distortion pedal for all the other synths. So moving on, we have filter mode, low and high for if you're having a nice lead going on. Overdrive still on, but very square wave still, but and let's go to high, buddy. So yeah, that's what that does. Figure that all on your own. Filter modulation, on and off. You got keyboard control on and off here. Filter decay, loud decay. That's a pretty useful button, so that way you could just let it drown out. Or if you want it nice and snappy. So that's cool. And there's your attack, decay, sustain, your basic ADSR envelope controls, and then here is your cutoff filter, so that you know what a cutoff is. Yeah, it's a nice cutoff. It's a nice cutoff, and then it goes up. Your filter emphasis is basically your resonance, and then contour is how sharp those notes are gonna get when they get louder or higher up in the octave range, pushing more to 1K hertz, if I recall correctly. Anyways, moving on. Additional attack, decay, and sustain are in here, and that can get more wild and fun once you mess with the semi-modular capabilities up here and utilize these little 1/8-inch jacks that I got with the Beatset Pro 7 years ago. And last but not least, you have your output. I actually keep this one down here. Right now it's on, and then you also have a tuning voice, and that's going to transition us into our next segment. Oh, and your main volume. And just for your info, I got the audio coming out of the phones, so I can spare my guitar cables on the high and low jack. But if you're plugging into an amp, that shit's raw. Plug it in. But yep, there's the oversight of the parameters, and we're going to transition with a nice tune Model D. But cool feature, it does have a tuning voice. So beep, and you have a nice key of A440, and then we go over to our keyboard and boom. Let's see what happens when you move your big tune knob and oscillators around. Now I find it useful to have a little bit of frequency modulation going on with the oscillators being in slight different tunes of each other. If you get it dead on, dead center, and your ear allows you to just tune every oscillator right in the same linear path, maybe that's the tone you're looking for. But for a lot of retro sounds and just the natural characteristic of its detuning because it's all analog, it's kind of cool to just let it drift. I'm going to tune that up though. Still a little dull. All right. Slightly detuned, and I kind of like that. So yes, you hear it as a bass, and let's hear it as a lead, going up 2 more octaves. It's a little discordant. And now that we've got a cool high pitched lead going on, let's show you some of these waveforms on here, huh? Waveforms. Let's go. This is all triangle. Let's make sure that there's no overload. Nice tubey sounding triangle wave. And they also have, hopefully you could see this. Yeah, you could see that. But they have inverted triangle or sawtooth wave, not triangle, inverted sawtooth wave. And then over here, it's scooped, a scooped sawtooth. Strange. It's weird, but hell, it works. Yep, we like it. And the traditional sawtooth. You know that sound. That's a good sawtooth from that mini moog tone, you know. And lots of 80s and 70s and 90s and 2000s and today's work. It's everywhere, man. And square. Woo-hoo-hoo. Nice and high. With that bass register, yeah. And the square waves, pretty thick. Yeah, nice and retro. Good for hip hop. Good for synthwave. That's a cool tone. And then you've got a couple more. The width of the square waves start to get more linear. And let's hear how that sounds. pretty damn good. Yeah, we like it. And even more linear than before. More or less the same thing, but you know, they give you options, and that's rad of them to do that. Especially back in 1970, whatever it was, when they first designed the first variation of the synth. So I'm going to leave, actually, let's go over here. Oscillator 1's going to get that weird scooped sawtooth, and then that's going to get the traditional sawtooth. But we're going to leave oscillator 3 on a square wave, because square wave plus saw wave equals a fat analog synth. And let's do some overdrive on that, just going up to 1. But it lights up your overload. Make you an overlord of synthesis. So let's hear how it sounds as a bass synth in a track. Alright. Now take off some of that compression that's going on here. I realize how funny the song sounds with just one synth playing with the tracks, and it's just a bass line, but you're getting an idea. I might have to just do another take to show you how sweet of a lead synth this is. But you can also check out my older videos in the archives. I've used this thing as a lead synth when I first got it, and just was leaving the Pro 1 on bass duties. But you know, the Pro 1, on a side note, it drops off on a low C. And it's got an awesome characteristic tone, the Pro 1. You know, it's off the Prophet 1. It's a Prophet 1 replica. But this thing doesn't care what it's getting. It doesn't care how low you're going to go. It's like, sure, let's do it. And it just gives you noise. Now, I'm never going to use that. That's too low. But the fact that it does that is incredibly useful. It's, you know, it's not that we're always going to go 160 miles per hour, but if your car can do that, it's nice. Anyways, that's a side tangent. And you know, it's if you're looking for an affordable analog synth, you need a bass synth. That's why I got this one. And then it sounded so great with for a lead synth, because it's just that versatile and badass. It's the OG, man. And yeah, I throw some reverb and chorus behind for using it for leads. Yeah, it's great. But I've got other lead synths. I'm running Roland's, and the Pro 1. It does pretty awesome job with lead melodies. So yada yada yada. It's an awesome bass synth. I recommend it. I got mine used on reverb for 160. So the power's a little finicky in back, but sometimes it takes a little wiggling to get it warmed up. But it's all right. I can wiggle her to warm her up. That's fine. Just got to do a man's job. and the end result is orgasmic. So I'll take it. Yeah, no, awesome synth. I think you can buy them new or do payments if you want on Sweetwater and Zounds for $300. So beats the 3,000 category for the original that doesn't even have MIDI and isn't this compact and can fit in a pack out box. So we like that. So without further ado, I'll shut up.